If you haven't filed tax returns in years, this video is for you. 20 years ago, I found myself with over 8 years of unfiled tax returns, married. And I wanted to share my experience. Weekend, Valentine's weekend, I'm here in Sedona celebrating my wife Liz, our 20th anniversary here. I jotted down some notes, so I'll be looking at some notes here, but I wanted to talk about why not filing tax returns creates more stress and anxiety than you can ever imagine. For 8 years, I didn't file my returns, primarily throughout my 20s. I tell people all the time, even though I didn't file for 8 years, I didn't finally get it resolved until I was almost 35 years old when I got married. The amount of stress and anxiety that I dealt with during that time frame was uncalled for. You know, if you're watching this video and you're in that same years of tax returns and don't know what to do, I'll share with you that there's a path to become whole again, dealing with this tax problem. One of the biggest things that happened with me is I got tired of being afraid. And when I say I got tired of being afraid, I got tired because here's the thing, when you don't file your tax returns, you got a large balance due, file your returns by paying your balances, you just don't know what to do. Who do you talk to? I say this to my clients all the time. Who do you talk to about this tax problem? Do you go to your friends? Do you go to your family members and tell them that you haven't filed tax returns? You have a very large balance and just don't know what to do with balance? It becomes that little secret that everybody keeps. And a lot of times it becomes a secret that you keep from the people that you love the most. Family, your spouse, your kids. And typically what happens is that you wait so long because of being afraid that eventually everybody finds out. What happens is that the IRS comes back because you didn't deal with it, comes back and now you got a bank levy where they put a freeze on your bank account. It was time to pay that rent, pay the car payment, go buy groceries, or your employer gets a notice that they have to withhold your paycheck for back taxes. The secret comes out. I think that's what I'm trying to say. The secret comes out. So if you're in that position where you got these years of unfiled tax returns, here's the great news. The returns creates clarity, you know where you stand. And here's the most important part people don't realize. The IRS is willing to work with you on your past due balances. They're willing to work with you on those returns that weren't being filed, but the problem is they can't work with you until you file those returns. I always tell people that the IRS wasn't the biggest danger, delay was. If you notice, in years past, I can honestly say this, in years past, the IRS was really slow to get to you, eventually catch you. It took them years to finally catch me for not filing. As I mentioned earlier, I went 8 years through my 20s and then finally dealt with it when I was 35 years old after I got married. Nowadays, this is being filmed in 2025, the IRS is using automation. We all hear about it. They're using those tools to find you much faster, to find the bank accounts much faster, to find your employer much faster. So the IRS is not the problem, delay is. The silence is the worst part. The silence creates a pressure on you. It creates a pressure on your family. It creates a pressure on your health. For years, I thought I had major health problems in my 20s. I thought I had a heart problem. And later found out that I did not have a heart problem. What I had was an anxiety and stress problem. Anxiety and stress of not filing tax returns. So by making that big decision to say, I'm gonna get help with this, you're gonna relieve so much pressure from you personally, because this is not going away whatsoever. So bottom line, it's time to get started to deal with those unfiled tax returns. There's a plan for you. One of the best things you can do right now, today, you go to the link in the video description, go to taxdebttriage.com. That is an assessment that I do for people. Gives me an initial triage on what's happening. If you fill out that form, it will tell you where you're at, monsters that we talk about within the tax underworld. Once you don't file and once you have a balance due, you become part of this tax underworld. My job is to get you that tax underworld, bring you into a peaceful place like this in Sedona. So 20 years from now, you can come down here and your story of how bad it was dealing with the IRS or dealing with the state tax, and now finally getting it resolved and behind you. Looking forward to working with you. Go to taxdebttriage.com. Talk to you soon.